Video games with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? What could go wrong? So Rampage is the latest film based on a video game franchise, and since I was one of the ones that actually enjoyed Tomb Raider, I figured maybe this could keep the ball rolling and we can get more acceptable, decent video game adaptations for film, because they still don't have the best rep, because there's like dozens of horrible, video game adaptations. Now, I did play Rampage a lot when I was younger. This was like 20 years ago. This was like World Tour on the original PlayStation. I really enjoyed it, but it never stuck out to me as something I wanted to see as like a feature film. Really? Don't get me wrong, they were fun games, but they're not really, like, popular anymore. And I guess maybe that's why they're doing this whole resurgence with this movie, trying to make, boost popularity up, which is fine. I mean, it's also cool they got The Rock in this, who, I am a fan of The Rock, but I am kind of feeling some Rock fatigue, if I'm being honest, because he is in so many projects. But that's not really all a bad thing, because he's actually in a lot of things that aren't that bad, though. I actually enjoy a good amount of movies he's in. But anyways, let's move on to my actual thoughts about the film. So going into this, I was expecting a very big, dumb, over-the-top action film, and that's exactly what I got. I mean, it's very as advertised. May have been actually a little bit too over-the-top in parts, actually. But yeah, I think if you go in with this with the mindset that I'm just going to turn my brain off and watch The Rock and a bunch of monsters just destroy things for an hour and a half, I think you're going to end up liking this film. Of course, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, once again, gives another really good performance. He just oozes charisma anytime he's on screen. And I don't think a lot of people could have pulled off this role this successfully other than probably The Rock. Because The Rock really is entertaining in no matter what film you see him in, and he is the highlight of this film in every regard other than just the action. Speaking of action, by the way, once they get to the big action scenes in this film, it's just complete absurdity. I mean, all logic is just thrown out the window, and it's just completely nuts until the end of the film. Especially once all the monsters reveal themselves and go on their huge, epic rampages destroying everything. I don't think I've seen this level of destruction in a film since maybe like Man of Steel, Age of Ultron, one of those kind of films. Because they just, like, destroy literally everything. As they should, because that's kind of what the whole point of the game was, if I remember correctly. I forget the name of the other two monsters in the film, but George the albino gorilla, I mean, he's pretty great in this film. I mean, he actually has a lot of good chemistry, weirdly enough, with The Rock. I also weirdly enough, had, like, emotional development over the course of the film with him, because he actually gets a good amount of character development for being a gorilla. I'm not going to, like, spoil anything, but it's kind of weird getting emotionally invested in a gorilla. Now, to move on to some of my negatives, I felt like there really wasn't a lot of action going on for the first, like, 2 acts of this film. It was actually relatively tame, mostly due to the fact that they kind of spent too much time on exposition. Because a lot of the exposition did slow down the whole pace of the movie, because there's a part in the middle where they just give us a lot of, unneeded exposition, backstory for a lot of characters, and cut the other things that weren't really relevant, and it kind of just messed with the flow of the whole movie, and I kind of got bored, and I wanted to just get back to the action, like the monsters especially. Because it's literally like the middle of the movie when all this is going on, and I'm thinking, like, I kind of forgot that the monsters were even in this movie because they spent so long away from them. Also, the 2 main villain humans in this aren't really all that exciting either. I mean, they have a good amount of cringe dialogue, and they're actually written to be pretty hollow. Speaking of cringy dialogue, there actually is a good amount of, like, cringy kind of dialogue in this movie. I mean, Jeffrey D. Morgan, I'm a big fan of Jeffrey D. Morgan. He gets a couple of those scenes. Not enough to, like, make it, like, he still had a really good performance, but it's just kind of more cringy, I guess, because he had, like, a country accent. But he was fine, and he gave a good performance, and so did Naomi Harris. She was also in this, and she was actually pretty good as well. Now, I'm not sure I can recommend this film to everybody, just because not everyone's into the whole big, dumb action film genre. But if that's, up your alley, or you just really like films that have The Rock in them, I definitely say, go for it, because it's definitely, a fun time if you're into that stuff. But if you're not, I mean, you might as well stay away from it, I guess, right? I mean, I don't think this was on your radar if you're not into those kind of films anyways. I'd still say I like Tomb Raider more as far as the whole video game, the film adaptations go. But this one's at least fine. I mean, it's not going to win awards. It's not going to, it's not going to get nominated for Oscars or anything. But it's a serviceable, big, dumb action film. But yeah, those are just my thoughts about Rampage. Feel free to leave your comments about the film down below. What you thought of it. Do you plan on seeing it? Do you plan on not seeing it? Also, feel free to leave a like, hit that subscribe button. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later.